2024 intuitive tarot readings. It's actually October 2nd, just a little late getting these out, so I do apologize about that. It's a solar eclipse today, so it's kind of a special day to be finishing all the readings for the month ahead. Such profound transformation happening all around, and it is my greatest intention really to offer loving guidance and clarity with these readings. The whole mission at All to Love really is the healing transformation from within our own heart when we connect to unconditional love, like the source of our own kind of creative potential here. So divine guidance and loving clarity for the Aquarius folk, divine guidance and loving clarity for the All to Love community, and those of you resonating with Aquarian energy. I'm really into astrology as well, and I am somebody who endeavors to embrace and look at all the different systems. A good friend, fellow YouTuber, Roots, she really gets me into the sidereal of the Vedic, and then there's the Placidus and the whole sign, and I do quite like kind of looking at all these elements and the asteroids. I have asteroid Amor on my natal Chiron, and I've had huge, which is love, you know, and the healing potency of love. So I just really rate, I think astrology, the more you like go into it, the more the learning can reflect aspects of yourself, and then that translates as being able to kind of, you know, observe other people's charts and just sort of weave the cosmic connection into our lives. And you know, to each their own, obviously. I am pulling cards for you, Aquarius. Is looking pretty good. I come right up with a 10 of Pentacles right in the beginning, right in the middle of your reading. So some of you might be getting a little bit of kickback financially, a sweet reward of some good hard work you've done, some deep transformation with the World and the Death card here. This is like and a potential death. It's the way the cookie crumbles. This, we might go through a loss, because that could also indicate obviously inheritance, larger sums of money coming in via the end of one world, death taking us, right? Death taking. So mega sorry if that's the case here. And yet the Empress is like, there's a cosmic connection, right? Death is part of life here on Earth. And the 10 of Pentacles is a cosmic or divine inheritance, right? It's something that is by design meant for you. And coming with the Empress here, Aquarius, I'm thinking you are probably really shining, or have received the messages that you need as and grieved the grief you've needed to grieve to allow this inheritance to be received. Really big changes for you this month, and probably right, well, again, change is the only constant, so it's constant, but I just got a little insert of a timeline into spring. So from now into your spring, Aquarius, you're woo, big energies, plus like what up by the end of the year, Pluto is moving into your sign, like for good, for the next 20 years. So here we are moving into this Aquarian age via the transit of Pluto, taking us again, there's various intuitive hits I get about that, this quantum expansion, this deeper recognition of our frequencies and the frequencies of the planet, and how to work with them more consciously for the benefit of all, right? This is a feeling quantum space that we're always relating to and interacting with. So it's a shift of perspective of our own beingness, right? In this reality, which is, you know, on the greater mundane level, that's part of why we're, I think, observing these huge relevant kind of explosions, just this sort of ramping up of control tactics that really, yeah, are trying really hard to get us to be controlled and submit. And I think the Aquarian energy certainly are coming into their own and being transformed to exemplify the power of one for all, right? Like, why more love? Why greater harmony? Because we are truly all connected, and what we project onto people, what we do to other people, is really, in essence, a part of our own self. And so, even on a collective level, the rage and the pain people are inflicting on other innocents, there's huge karmic kind of like digging into the unity, integrity of our whole as a species, and to stand for facing down the oppressor, you know. And that's part of this escalation. Are people, nations going, enough, no. And this is, you know, there's a seed with the Pluto return in America that's dissolving the empire of America, and of course the foreign policy and a lot of the kind of darker agendas, whether in politics, whether in Hollywood, are being exposed because there's such an infiltration of that darkness, and we're having to witness the global effect of that, and then face together the kind of denouement of empires, and the connected empires. They're all connected. They come down through the rising of a collective consciousness, right? And to hold space and to pray for the loss, and the loss of innocence, and the atrocity that we're all witnessing and having to process and ingest in our field, right? And keep holding the vision of a greater love. That's a huge aspect of the integrity of the Aquarian model, right? Like that, know, because it's before we all dissolve into Pisces, right? So the Aquarian is like really knowing the wholeness of the totality through your autonomy, through your sovereignty, through your knowing of your divine expression in connection to the whole. Empress, you know this power. Holy shit, Aquarius. Like, there's something really powerful coming in to shift you. And again, it might come through great loss and death, and actual losing of a significant person in your life, or and yet this can be more metaphysical, where you are truly dying to an old way of being, an old, like maybe not knowing yourself, maybe working shitty jobs, maybe whatever it might be. And like, it's something about like, now is the time to dive in. Like, you are preparing and readying yourself to be transformed by Pluto. Death card. Like, this is so significant because you are a huge part of transforming the world, right? In the next 10-20 years. And of course we all, you know, we all got all the signs, right? But I'm speaking specifically, I'm thinking about people that probably have like a fair bit of Aquarian energy and or resonate with that Aquarian energy. And of course, there will be focus in those areas of life regardless for all of us. So you're feeling very collective right now. Like, your service is the service for the whole. So some of you won't see this shift coming, actually. So this 8 of Sword is just saying, for some of you, yeah, you be blind to it. You won't know. I can't say anything else because you're just not meant to know. You won't know. You'll be blind to it. Now you can see. You'll be blind, and then things will happen. You'll be like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming, but here we are. I'm just hearing divine guidance and loving clarity. Oh, that popped out for Capricorn as well. It's like the vision's coming. The vision of your new palace is coming. You want to create it, you see. You want to create it from within your own vision. There's newness abound through the portal of death, you could say. Something about look what I got. Look what I got. There's definitely like some contract signing. Look what I got. Like, um, there's even celebrations as far as, for example, maybe there is like a funeral or some sort of get together, but it's a kind of poignant, joyful celebration, celebrating someone's life after passing, right? It depends on our point of attraction, but some people interpret and or approach funerals in such a way that they drink and have a certain amount of festivity in celebration of a person's life. This brings about again the kind of starting to talk about negotiate. There's the four of coins, like somebody's opening Pandora's box, or like opening a thing where like we're gonna have to discuss this, talk about this, hash this out, because somebody's got something to give you. And again, for you, it could generate the potential of that Ten of Pentacle to then make and create the world you want. There's a palace here. The palace is make me think of moving or luxury, or just visioning more that more like at this stage, say you hear of a passing, and there's an inheritance, and maybe a sizable one, because it feels that way right now. It's not a six, it's a 10. 10 of Pentacles is kind of like a larger sum of money, physical, inheriting a home, inheriting an estate, right? And then the palace is like, with this inheritance, you're gonna start to be like visioning how you want to live, what kind of home you want to live in. But there's gonna be maybe a bit of certainly signing of contracts, or having to move, like to just maybe negotiate, or talk to people, be like, oh look, this has come up, we've got to sort this thing out, right? It's like you're not the outsider anymore, Aquarius. The Aquarian energy with the five here of the outsider. The outsider healing the feeling of not belonging and then becoming the rebel. Like, well done, Aquarius. You're like, oh, so sad, I didn't belong. And then you're like, oh, that's okay, because I'm me, you're you. You're not belonging is even part of you breaking free from the chains of your own prison, your own thinking that you don't belong, your own thinking that your rebelliousness was somehow not warranted. And you're like, oh, it totally is. I gotta be myself. I gotta speak my truth. I gotta break out of these chains, right? So Empress is really kind of grounding you into a greater like resilience, but like a sense of like being who you are, not being afraid of confrontation or inciting it. Saying something or doing something a little out of the norm that brings people at you. Be mindful of that during this eclipse portal for sure, at the early stages of the month. Just going your own way, beware of how that can trigger other people, that people might be like, oh, what, you're not coming in, or you're not. And so people might come at you, people might oppose you if you suddenly aren't playing the victim, or if you suddenly don't just do what other people want you to do, even though it makes you feel like shit. The gem. Yeah, ooh, there's a lot of dynamism in this reading, Aquarius. I'm digging it. You like know your worth, so you're just like, yep, there's got to be some sort of like accumulative momentum shift that's building to make you be like, ah, I'm breaking free. I'm going in this direction. We got this. I'm good to go. I learned this info. I've broken free from my mind, or I got the information, or I lost that thing, and so now I've got nothing to lose. Like, there's a real sense of finally like breaking out and being strong in yourself. And again, there's a little bit of that happening within the collective. Something maybe to do with Saturn still moving its time lord way through Pisces. That Capricorn and Aquarius are Saturn ruled signs, right? So there's a real sense of all that discipline, or all that work, or all that rigor that you've been putting in is coming to manifest. It's going to happen in your physical reality. So there's a sense of preparedness, but then even within being prepared, knowing that there's going to be things that surprise you. You can be as prepared as you like. There's still not ultimate control, right? So you're kind of letting go of certain things, probably with Empress energy here, like just listening to your own self rather than naysayers, rather than messages that make you feel like shit, rather than people that make you doubt, rather than other messages from other people or messages that you get from within yourself that are distorted, that make you feel like you're not enough, that you can't do it, that blah, 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 right? And so you're finally like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm just going to be myself. And if some people don't like that, they're not my people. A little bit of a kind of autonomous, like just going out on your own for a little bit. I'm not getting, although I'm not getting massive like partnership love vibe, but there it is. So some of you are just in a really long standing, like committed, awesome, reflective, balanced, probably forever type of relationship. But for some of you, that's possibly what you're looking for or manifesting it. So if you're not in it, this is all part of the bigger, broader manifestation that you're moving into as you move into greater stability after transformation, which is probably like a bit of a or big loss or something, right? This is I'm gonna take it in the reverse and I'll read. So final messages here for my Aquarian lovers. Lalita, a goddess of erotic spirituality. I pulled her up in the reverse, so I will read the reverse energy. It's time to go after your desires. These desires are not your goals of achievement, but rather what the inner you desires: love, lust, passion. Lalita, the tantrika goddess, awakens within to remind you of your divine feminine nature. She is fully alive, untamed, and mystical, joining the erotic with the spiritual. Lalita represents the part of you that is both a queen and nymph, ruling with her elegance without foregoing her pleasure. Meditate on embodying Lalita sensual power in all aspects of your life. There's this, like the Empress here, stepping into more joy unapologetically, stepping into more grace unapologetically, stepping into more abundance, etc., etc. More autonomy, but in your power, which is in the power for the whole. You know, like that there again is that true power versus this weird illusory control and domination power. You're just no. Right? It's like it's not it's the force and control is really actually reflecting to us a grand, long-standing destabilization of our power as a human species. Why are we doing that? Why are we fighting in these ways? Because we have lost our core, you know, and it's the remembrance. Self-realization is a remembrance. Remember, put it back together and see the totality without fear. That's where love comes in, right? Love sort of is the container for it all. And none of it's good, bad, or right or wrong, and yet we tend to have these judgments, right? They've been programmed into us. So it's a great outworking of constructs, programs, and belief systems that we will have held for generations, which is where again we're having to abstract our conventional mental programming to see more of the totality of what we carry as individual beings. We're full of information. There again, that the control forces or some of the apparent external forces seem to want to dumb that down, numb that out, or completely distract us from it altogether. So you know, we in a sense sort of surrender it. We surrender our power through our unconscious reactivity and just the programs we would be patterning out. But who knows? You know, that's just a little bit of rambles and chit chat about our own freedom. Freedom is something we'll talk about in the Patreon show this week. Anywho, Aquarius, here you go. October. Happy eclipse to all of you on this day. Look after yourselves. Let me know if that resonates with you guys. And I'll see you next month. Or I'll see you in the daily readings. Great to be here with you, Aquarius. Thanks for everything, for sharing, liking, for buying some products over at the Alta Love T-mail store. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here. Take care. Peace out.